They'll do like, this biofilter will be in a big oil drum or something like that.
Yep.
And then they'll have some other chamber that does the rest of that. And you kind of combine both. And there's the aesthetic value of it falling.
Exactly.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
There is going to be a waterfall in this corner as well.
Oh my gosh, I can just stick it in the center here.
Yeah.
This is sick. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
Just arrived in San Diego, back at Epic Gardening, and there's a ton of stuff happening here. Just walked up and I see a big pile of rocks here. I had a great conference call last week with Kevin and Sara. They were at the stone yard picking out some of the character boulders for this project, also getting some of the river rock. They had that delivered. Tomorrow morning our mini excavator arrives, as well as the skid steer, but this afternoon, before I jump too far ahead, before Sara shows up and we go back and meet with Kevin, we're gonna have to figure out our game plan to see how many boulders are here and then figure out if we need to go back to the stone yard to pick up a few more. By the look of it, I'm gonna say we're gonna need to make a trip. And that's because if you remember, they have that huge water container located right in that back corner over there. So that's that existing rainwater capture system. It's a massive above ground tank. We want to try to make that disappear. So what we're gonna have to do is build a stone wall in front of it. Then we're gonna take all the soil that we already dug out from that 3,000 gallon reservoir, plus all the new soil that's gonna be dug out of the pond. We're gonna pile that up in front of that tank. But the problem with that tank is it cannot be completely buried. It's not designed for that. So it would actually be crushed or it would be deformed if we put weight up against it. So we're gonna have to do a separate stone wall, put the soil up against it, leaving a little bit of a walking space between the stone wall and that tank, just for maintenance, for access and things like that. Once we get that established, then we could start focusing on the actual decorative water feature. Why don't we go take a walk and see where they're at?
Oh,
hey Sara, what's up?
That.
Perfect timing.
Who showed up?
We are talking about, originally you can kind of see a little bit of a line over here. I had the pond going further that way.
Got it.
Kevin was concerned about eliminating some of that space for growing, so we're going to shift everything this way, including the waterfall. So we're just pushing everything a little bit to the west.
Okay.
Yep.
So this will be built up because this is going to be an upper pool area because we want another waterfall kind of coming down into the pond.
Got it. And so this is going to be soil or planting?
That'll be planting soil,
Perfect.
correct.
That'd be great. Okay, so that means I'm going to work my patio anywhere in here.
Anywhere in there, exactly. So we have to build up this wall over here, take all the soil that we already dug up, build this area up.
So right now it seems like we're missing some boulders. We need a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
We went to the boulder place a couple weeks back. We thought we ordered enough, and I think we under-ordered by about 50%.
We ordered all the pretty stuff that you're going to see. We didn't order any of the stuff under the water.
rubble,
Because
yeah.
I don't care about that for my aesthetic. No, I'm kidding. So bear with me. I had this thought.
Okay.
So we're standing on this pervious surface.
Yes.
And I've been really wanting to do like a garden or waterfall table. And I think this could be a sick spot if we built a simple table or a really complex one, depending on whatever.
That would be awesome.
But just have a reel or like a little channel that goes through it and dumps the water down, and usually you collect it in a bowl.
Yeah.
We could just drop it into the
Absolutely.
landscape.
And we have a pumping system already, so we're gonna have a pump going up to our waterfall.
That'd be
So we could
cool.
easily tee into that and steal a portion of it, because you don't need a lot of water, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's just like a little
trickle.
So would this have a dedicated pump?
It will have a dedicated pump.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you could turn it on and off depending on if he's entertaining.
Correct.
And then I would just run probably the hardware up one of the legs of the table.
Yeah.
Right?
There is going to be a waterfall in this corner as well.
Oh my gosh, I can just stick it in the center here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is sick.
So it's cool because it can literally fall into the floor and be recaptured and reused.
Yeah, so
no waste, yeah.
Yeah, everything is just going to go back into your pond.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's so fun.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
All right, so I guess we just need to hit the Boulder Store now.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So we're at Southwest Boulder and Stone, Chula Vista, California. We are here picking out boulders. You picked out a bunch already. these are awesome because these are the ones that you already got. We just got to get a few more of them.
Sure, yeah. We picked out the Cresta because they're so beautiful, but now we want to get the Desert Sand, which is a little more affordable, and they sell it per foot or per 2 foot, so whatever size we pick, then we'll just estimate it.
Perfect. You have 6 big ones already.
Okay.
Plus you have the 1 full pallet. That I think is more than enough for the waterfall. So I think we should be good. These are going to be nice little accents down on the inside.
Yeah.
We may want to put in a couple more just to tie it all together.
Well, the nice thing is this is like super close to the house, so
we could always grab it.
We could always grab it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because I don't want to overbuy because I want to spend money on the table that I want to put in.
The table's going to be sweet. I am totally looking forward to
Kevin and I are going to build it together.
That'll be awesome.
Yep.
Construction day is here. We have started the project at Epic Gardening, and this is going to be phenomenal. So the rest of the team has arrived. We have people coming in from around Southern California, which is making our life a lot easier. It's great having a lot of good connections with contractors, certified Aquascape contractors in these areas. I have Daniel from Team Aquascape here. He is our operator. He's going to be operating the mini excavator. He started with the excavation. We have the team from Columbia Water Gardens. They're actually starting to get more rocks for our retaining wall, and they're starting to put all the plumbing and all the rest of the pieces together for the biological filter. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge with the installation here today. So normally what I would do, I would set that biofilter right away in the morning, connect all my plumbing, so then as I'm excavating, I'm literally burying the entire filter. I can't do that right now because we have that big tank over in the background and we have to do a retaining wall. So the retaining wall has to go first, but I don't have all the rocks for the retaining wall. So what I want to do is I'm trying to keep everything moving forward. I'm digging as much as I can, staging the soil. The stone should be here hopefully a half hour to an hour. We'll start installing that retaining wall. Then we could start moving along the way we normally would. So again, we have ways of building all of our projects, but you're always going to be manipulating that process depending upon the site conditions. Let's go take a look, see how they're doing. So Daniel is working right now, cutting in the first shelf. So what I mean by the first shelf is that first level going down. We'll get a flat area going through this entire space, and then we're going to come in and mark out our deep area. A couple things we have to think about for this project. Remember, we put in all those aqua blocks. We have 100 aqua blocks underneath this gravel. We're going to have a waterfall coming from the pond falling into this reservoir. So there's going to be a connection in this corner. So once we get all that excavated, I'm going to take all of this crushed stone, move it out of the way, and we're going to kind of create a little bit of a pocket or a pool in this area for the waterfall to actually combine into. It's also going to look more aesthetically pleasing. We're going to need area to come in for staging our boulders. We do have a somewhat condensed area. It's a big property actually, but there's a lot of things happening. We have existing fence. We have this big tank. We have our tank over in this section. We're gonna have this big pond excavated in the middle. We need to get boulders and stonework inside of this entire area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the skid steer, bring it up here to the front, knock this soil down. So this is gonna allow us access around this back area. Once that's set, then we're gonna wait for the rest of our boulders to arrive, and then we can start doing our retaining wall, which is gonna go in over by that tank area.
We've got a lot going on here. We've got the pond dug out. We have this retaining wall here. Why don't we just start really quickly with this? Why do we have to build a big blocky retaining wall?
So we have a condensed area between the existing tank and the biofilter. So this biofilter is at an elevated position because that's going to become our waterfall. So the area behind here we have to fill with soil, and that's the only way really to hold all that stuff in place. Otherwise it'll just slowly erode over time and fall apart on us.
And it looks the most natural this way too.
And it looks natural. Exactly.
Yeah, so when we went to the Boulder yard, we chose a mix of these rounded ones and these sort of accent ones that you saw earlier on. So we've used some of the rounder ones here because you're not really seeing it too much.
Right.
And then we'll use the accent ones like around the pond. But then we get to this right here. So when you said waterfall, you know, in my head I think like a pipe that just like water comes out, right? You know?
Exactly.
And so we've got the biofilter here, which if you guys have ever seen any of my videos on aquaponics, you'll know a little bit about that. but we got the pond professor here, so why not just give it the breakdown?
Yeah, absolutely. So a biofilter, very, very simply, is a home for microorganisms. So the microorganisms are going to colonize inside of this, but they need a surface.
And a lot of surface area, right?
The higher the surface area, the better. So they're going to be living. There's going to be huge colonies of microorganisms, nitrifying bacteria, facultative bacteria that'll break down nitrogenous wastes that are generated inside the pond.
From the fish or whatever else.
We have our plumbing connection coming around.
Yep.
We have a watertight connection between the pipe and this box. If you notice down here, this is discharging water, and then there's this little ledge here. So that ledge is going to hold this little rack. What that's going to do is it's going to create a settling chamber on the bottom. So fast moving water comes in, and we have to allow the sedimentation process to occur because we have a pump down in the bottom, and if we bring in solid sediments, it'll clog the filter pad up, and that kills the microorganisms. So they need a relatively clean, fast flowing system. So now on top of that, that's known as a swirl chamber. The other thing, you notice it's not coming in right in the middle, it's kind of coming in at an angle.
So it comes like that.
It creates a swirling motion, allows the sediments to fall out. Then
so
the
we go on with the mat
on top of it. And we have multiple mats, and then on top of that, we're going to come in with Bioballs, which are more surface area.
Yeah, I mean, if you look close, it really just is as much surface area as you can squeeze into a sphere, basically,
that's basically it. Exactly. Now, this is going to be a living, breathing organism in itself, responsible for detoxification of all the water. During their metabolic processes, they consume oxygen just like us. These are living animals. So they're going to be breathing or blowing oxygen out of the water. This is why we have a waterfall as the outfall. So they pull oxygen out. Now we need to reintroduce oxygen to it. The waterfall is going to naturally oxygenate the water, then it's going to complete the cycle by going back into the pond.
What's cool about the way you do it, because like I said, I've done some aqua videos before. They'll do like, this biofilter will be in a big oil drum or something like that, and then they'll have some other chamber that does the rest of that, and you kind of combine both, and there's the aesthetic value of it falling, which is pretty cool.
When we're building an ecological system like this, I want it to look spectacular. I don't want it. I know this filter functions incredibly, but I never ever want to see it again. Once we're done with it, we're going to bury it. There's actually a rock tray, which is kind of behind you over there. That's going to fit inside of here. So
this goes on top.
This goes on top. These little cells are for river rock. So we're going to put boulders here, we're going to have river rock, and then you could plant this with different types of aquatic vegetation.
Yeah, that's cool. So the next step, I guess, is to continue on with the pond build. We got a lot more to do.
We have a ton more to do. So we're going to bring in a little bit more soil, we're going to bury this up. We are about ready to put in our rubber lining down in the bottom. That's going to hold all the water in place, and then we got to set all those stones we picked out. We got to start placing them one at a time in the bottom, work our way from the bottom out.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys soon.
All right.